Being raised about the U.S. government attorney struggling to provide any information about the exact whereabouts of Abrego Garcia, as well as other immigration policies by the Trump administration. With us is Sarah Saldaña, a former ICE director under President Barack Obama. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you.
I'm going to pick up where we left off with Zach. We know the man was deported last month to that notorious high-security prison in El Salvador. As a former ICE director, Sarah, can you give us a sense of what the process might look like to get him back onto U.S. soil?
Well, this is not an unusual situation. It's happened before, certainly. And I believe there's already in place an agreement between this administration and the El Salvadoran government to house immigrants coming back to El Salvador in the CCOT prison, infamous as it is, already. I think there's several $1 million that have been promised the Salvadoran government to do that. So I am not sure what obstacles the administration sees in retrieving Mr. Abrego Garcia, but there's already a pathway of communication on immigration issues with El Salvador, and it should not be a matter of much time at all, logistically even, to get him back into the United States. The question is the will, not the way, I think.
I'm glad you mentioned the millions of dollars the White House actually sends to this prison to house these criminals or would-be criminals. From your perspective, what could have been done differently in this specific case?
It is very difficult to imagine how the standing order of an immigration judge on a case, you know that asylum cases are, even this administration will tout, are not always very successful. Many times the immigration courts go against the detainee. In this case, there was a specific ruling by an immigration court in which evidence was presented by the government of his alleged association with the gangs in question that prohibited his return to El Salvador. I would think that would kind of be on top of that A file, the file that contains all the information pertaining to people who are in this country under protection. And if it indeed is just an error, I believe that error can be corrected fairly readily, because he's only there because the United States asked El Salvador to receive him.
I want to switch gears to another ruling. A judge ruled Friday night that Columbia University grad student Mahmoud Khalil, who was arrested by ICE agents in March for participating in pro-Palestinian demonstrations last year, can be deported. Your reaction to that, Sarah?
Very interesting case, very interesting case. Now, let's just point out that this is the first step of many. I believe the defense has already indicated it's going to appeal to the Bureau of Immigration Appeals, which is a process that's certainly provided by law. And mind you, the immigration statute is a morass of rules, regulations, steps, court. On top of that, let's have court rulings that provide certain protections, constitutional protections to immigrants. And so there will be this clash between freedom of speech to a legal resident alien, which is what I understand Mr. Khalil's status is, and, of course, the right of the administration to secure the United States. The first level has already agreed, the immigration judge, that the administration is right in its ability to do this. We'll see what the upper courts above this court say. And there are appeals that can go all the way to the district courts of the United States. So a question arises, and I think it's really a legitimate question, is are the immigration courts, who already have a tremendous burden in a backlog that has been amassing for years, since I was director in 2014 up through when I left in 2017, are there concerns on the part of the immigration judges that they may be subject to be fired because they fail to abide by the administration's position that they have a right to remove this person? It's a legitimate concern. There have already been some immigration judges fired outright. without much protection. They have little protection, the immigration judges. They're in the Department of Justice.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.